Hello. Today, we will show how to properly install the Underdeck system for a beautiful and watertight space under your outdoor deck. In this step, you will familiarize yourself with the way your deck is built, noting details that will affect the preparation and installation of your underdecking system. Use a 4-foot level to determine if the deck is level, or if it slopes away from the house at a minimum of 1/8 of an inch per foot. Write down the slope per foot for use later in the installation. In most cases, the Underdeck underdecking panel will slant away from the building. We'll cover the pitch rail installation in Step 5 of this video. Examine your existing deck-to-house connection to determine if flashing is needed to divert water running down the building wall to prevent it from running between the building and the deck. We will cover standard underdeck flashing installation in Step 3 of this video. Make a note of any structural protrusions and electrical wiring requiring special preparation before installing the underdecking. This project includes a chimney protrusion and a ceiling fan installation we will cover in Step 4 and 7 of this video. Now that you are familiar with the particulars of your deck, let's get started. It is best to have the Underdeck underdecking panel carry the water away from the building on most projects. If there is no drop beam, install double 2x12 boards at the top of the deck posts opposite the building beam, to which we will attach the gutter. Wrap it with painted metal or vinyl cladding for a finished trim look. A proper install of Underdeck underdecking completely waterproofs the underdeck space by installing flashing that diverts all the water from the edges of the deck onto the underdecking panels and then to the gutter. To install the flashing on each end of the deck, take measurements between each joist. Then form flanges along two opposite edges of the flashing using a handbrake. Mark your measurements on the flashing. Then, grasp the flashing with the handbrake at the mark and bend upward. You may have to do it a few times up and down the fold to obtain the desired rough 90-degree bend. Fasten the flashing pieces between the joists with stainless steel zip screws, ensuring the back is tight against the edge board and the flanges pointed upward. Angle the flashing downward, making a chute for water to flow from the top of the joist space to the bottom of the joist board. For the sides of the deck, create L-shaped flashing strips 3 inches wide to run the length of the edge joists on the sides of the deck. After fastening the flange to the joist, bend it downward 15 degrees or so for good water runoff. Using 100% clear silicone caulk for outdoor applications, carefully run a caulk bead between all flashing edges and the wood deck structure it is in contact with. This important step will complete the waterproofing integrity of the flashing. Check to be sure that every area coming from the edge of the deck has been securely flashed and caulked. For structural protrusions, such as the chimney in this project, install and caulk L-shaped flashing around the entire perimeter to ensure that all of the water is diverted away from the edges of the protrusion onto the Underdeck underdecking. Apply plenty of caulk to ensure a proper seal. For electrical penetrations, such as lighting or a ceiling fan, install and caulk an extra long piece of flashing at a slope from the edge of the deck to the bottom of the joist at least 2 feet past the point fixture. or its wiring will penetrate the underdecking panel. This ensures that the surface water is well past the fixture before flowing from the flashing to the underdecking panel, keeping the entire joist cavity around the fixture safe, dry, and drip-free. Install appropriate framing to support the electrical fixture you plan to install. In this case, we ran the wiring between two 2x4s that are fastened at the bottom of the joist. Small poly blocks of the proper thickness are attached to the bottom of the 2x4 to support the inner cavity surface of the underdecking for a strong and solid fixture mounting surface. Venting is important to the Underdeck system for ventilation and release of the humidity buildup between the top deck and underdecking after a rain. Round vents are installed in evenly spaced increments at the gutter end of the deck. Use a hole saw to create the vent holes. With the vent louvers pointed down, gently tap the vents into place. Side vents are installed on both sides of the deck as well. The vent strip is placed directly behind the fascia board and secured with screws. Now, we're ready to install the framework that will set the slope of the underdecking system carrying the water to the gutter. First, measure the width of the deck from the building to the outside edge. Subtract 4 inches for the gutter area, and divide the remaining measurement to evenly space the deck rails no more than 4 feet apart, depending on the width of the deck. We target a 1/2 inch increase in slope at each rail. Always start at the building side with a 3/4 inch poly rail. 3/4 of an inch is the minimum thickness for a structural support rail. The rails of 1/2 inch thickness should only be used in conjunction with other thicker rails. If your deck already has a 1/8 of an inch per foot or greater slope, you can simply use 3/4 inch pitching rails the whole way across. Next, install the J-channel, which will make a slot for the underdecking panels to slip into for a finished edge. The wider J-channel flange is secured with screws against the pitching rails along each side. Install the double J-channel along the house end of the deck, secured to the bottom of the pitching rails. This includes any framing protrusions. Do not install J-channel on the end where the gutter will go. Miter the finished edge of the J-channel for both inside and outside corners at a 45-degree angle for a tidy, finished look. Underdecking panels can be ordered in 10, 12, 14, or 16-foot lengths. Longer lengths are available for special order. There should be 2 inches between the end of the panels and the gutter beam. Snip a 3/8 inch slit at each corner of the underdecking and bend it down 15 degrees to create a drip edge over the gutter. On the opposite end of the panel, snip a 1-inch slit and bend up 90 degrees to stiffen the panel. Installation begins at one side of the deck, with the building end of the panel firmly against the wall inside the J-channel. A screw is secured at each joist through the flange on the leading edge of the panel. The back panel edge is snugly snapped together into the adjoining panel. A protrusion hole is made into the panel for electrical as needed. With the panel face down on the ground, start by measuring and drawing your hole in the desired location. Then, drill a hole in the center of that circle and cut a hole about 1 inch smaller than your final hole needs to be. Cut evenly spaced slits about 1.5 inches apart and 1 inch long. Bend each of those pieces upward. Next, you will install window tape around the protrusion. Finally, be sure to caulk around the edges of the tape to create a flawless seal. Now, the water will drain smoothly around the fixture with no leaks. Please note that panels with protrusions are not guaranteed by Underdeck. More warranty details are available from your supplier. The final panel is cut 1/4 inch wider. Then use a handbrake to bend upward 45 degrees to spring fit the snap edge into the adjoining panel and the cut edge firmly against the wall of the J-channel for a snug fit. The final step is to install the gutter beneath the drip edge of the underdecking. Secure the gutter to the gutter beam, sloping it toward the downspout end with the provided gutter screws and spacers. Attach the downspout with the provided screws. If you ever need to remove a panel that is not at the edge, take down the gutter and remove the bottom piece of the 2-piece J-channel. Take a thin bar between the panels and pry down the piece next to the one you will remove. Remove the screws and remove the piece to be replaced. Install the new piece and replace the screws. Then snap the pieces back in place.